Hi, it's Theo and thank you for joining me for my 1 minute card reviews. And today we've got Paladin. Now, if you want to see my other card reviews, I'll have a link to the playlist in the description. Without further ado, let's get started with the very first card. And as always, it's the quest. For 1 mana, dive the Golakka Depths. It's repeatable as well, very important. And summon 5 Murlocs. The reward Murlocs you summon, gain +1/+1. And it's free. This is the one quest you don't actually have to pay mana. So whenever you play 5 Murlocs, all your Murlocs get +1/+1 after that. Now I think this card looks really strong on paper because yeah, you can just put it in a Murloc deck and just play your deck like you normally would. And it's really nice you don't have to pay mana for the buff. But if you compare it to like the Death Knight Zerg card we had that buff everything, the Infestor, yeah, this feels a little bit worse. Well, yeah, this is way cheaper and way easier. Downside compared to Death Knight one is they had a lot more rushers with it, right? With the spawning pool. There was Baneling, so you actually had a board clear. And there was like Viper if your card's reborn. So that did a lot of things. And right now the Murloc pool, yeah, it's not that great. We'll get to more Murlocs later, but overall, yeah, they're not so amazing. So yeah, while the stats are really amazing, I think the card pool for Murlocs is just not quite good enough. So I'll be giving this card 3 stars. And one of the cards that can help the quest is the Submerged map. A 1 mana spell, discover a Murloc. If you play it this turn, also pick one of the others. So obviously, yeah, you put this card in your Murloc Paladin deck, and yeah, I think it will be pretty good in that, right? Especially if you can find some tokens with this, because then you can proc the quest multiple times, and all your minions that you get of this are buffed as well. And yeah, the buff I think scales pretty fast, so I think this is a pretty solid card in those Murloc decks. Outside of Murlocs, though, yeah, I don't think this is going to see play. So just another solid map for the quest decks. I'll be giving this 3 stars. And the first Murloc we got here is the Violet Treasure Gale. A 2 mana 1/2 Murloc Battlecry. Cast a random spell from your deck that costs 2 or less. Targets this if possible. So yeah, it's clearly made for a spell we'll get to later, but also just anything that buffs the card, right? Like a Head of Adal. So it basically means, right, it's a 2 mana draw a card and cast it for 0, and that seems pretty solid. Just, I think, again, just like the Murlocs, it's the card pool is what I'm a bit worried about, because yeah, there's Head of Adal, but yeah, if you want to play 2 of these, you don't want to play more than 2 cards that this can pick, and yeah, I'm not sure that's really the other cards are really worth it for this one, but it's still a tutor card, right? That instantly plays the minion, and yeah, if you get Head of Adal, right, it's a 2 mana 3/3 that draws a card and basically draws 2 because you also draw the Head of Adal. So yeah, that's got to be pretty solid, I think. So I'll be giving this 3 stars. And the next Murloc we got is the Hot Spring Glider, a 3 mana 2/4 Murloc. Cry, your next Murloc costs 2 less, Kindred, and gains Divine Shield. So the Kindred, it's yeah, if you play it in a Murloc deck, which I think you will, it's pretty easy to proc. Like it's almost impossible to not have it active. And also the mana cheat is of course nice on it. Although yeah, if we compare it to a previous Shaman card, which reduced the next 2 Murlocs by 2, it feels a little bit weaker than that. But that card was really strong. So yeah, slightly worse than a really strong card. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, right? But yeah, this only reduces 1, so you pay 3 mana to then cheat 2 mana and you get this Murloc. So yeah, this card has a couple of good things, but none of them are truly amazing for a Murloc deck, so I'll be giving this 3 stars. And the last Murloc we have is the Tyranno-Gale, a 6 mana 6/3 Murloc Beast with Rush. Death Rattle, summon 3 2/1 Murlocs, give them each a random bonus effect. And again, those bonus effects are like Taunt, Wind Fury, Lifesteal, Divine Shield, those kind of things. So you get these 3 Dino Locks then, and yeah, with those buffs though, if you play the quest right, which I think you will, I don't think you'll play it without the quest. Yeah, that can be a lot of stats, right? If it's just +3/+3, then it's a 9/6 Rush. That gives you 3/5/4 tokens with Murlocs, and then also almost single-handedly procs the quest again. And yeah, this just seems like another solid minion in a Murloc deck that you will not be playing outside of these Murloc decks. Because we've had similar cards like this before, right? Like we had the mech card that summoned 2 mechs with Rush. And just like that one, I think this will be only played in its own tribal deck. This almost single-handedly procs the quest, gives you 4 tokens. So pretty solid in the Murloc deck, and I'll just be giving it 3 stars again. Then let's get to the non-Murloc cards, starting with the Story of Galvadon, a 2 mana spell. Give a minion 3 random bonus effects. Now it says Story of Galvadon, but yeah, Galvadon was adapted a couple of times. This says bonus effects, so it's a little bit different. And yeah, those bonus effects again, like Taunt, Lifesteal, that kind of stuff. And yeah, for 2 mana, getting 3 random ones, like it really depends on what you get with it, how good it can be. Something like Divine Shield can be amazing, but yeah, getting Taunt on a board can often be kind of useless. And then yeah, wasting 2 mana on a card that maybe gets you like 3 kind of useless effects for 2 mana. Yeah, I don't think that's really going to be worth it. You can play this, of course, with that 2 mana Murloc to kind of tutor it. But I'm not entirely convinced if you want to put this in your deck. Just 3 random bonus effects with 2 mana. It's quite inconsistent, but I'm still going to be giving it 2 stars because it can give Wind Fury, for example, and yeah, that's the most powerful one. In a lot of situations, it can just easily win, especially if the card already has a couple of keywords. It's more likely that it will get that Wind Fury, because it can't give keywords that you already have. Then the next buff spell we have is Ready to Fleet, a 3 mana spell. Give +1/+2 to a friendly minion, and your other minions that share a type with it. So we saw this kind of card before where it looks at the type of cards, but this time it's a buff. And this looks like something you want to be playing in a tribal deck. But yeah, do you want to be playing this in a Murloc deck? I feel like you'd rather just play Murlocs to advance that quest and get a one-time buff for your board. And this just seems really expensive for a buff that isn't even consistent on all minions, because if you have some other minions than Murlocs, right, this isn't gonna work. Also, if you compare it to other buffs like a Flash Shield or a Crusader Aura, this seems a lot worse. Right, like Flash Shield basically does the same, but on every minion, and you get a 2 for Tall Divine Shield, which kind of seems worth the mana. And yeah, this one is just a one-time buff, and it's not even that strong, right? Just +1/+2, and it's 3 mana, and yeah, no good way to cheat this out either, I think. So yeah, I just don't think you're going to be playing this card, and I'll be giving it 1 star. Then we get to the legendary Ido of the Thresh Fleet, a 4 mana 2/7. While this is alive, you get a 2-cost Holy Spell that gives a minion +2/+2 and Divine Shield. So we can see call the Thresh Fleet. And yeah, this card, it stays in your hand as long as you have this minion. So you can cast this a number of times, as many times as you want, basically. But yeah, if you play this and it dies, I'm pretty sure it just disappears. So you can't just play it on 4 and then always have the buff. So yeah, an infinite spell seems pretty powerful, but you do have to play the minion first. It has to live before you can really buff stuff. But it is one of those minions that, yeah, if it sticks around, it can really snowball. I mean, it has 7 health on a 4-drop that can be pretty difficult to clear. Question is, will you be able to play this and buff it consistently? Well, I'm not entirely convinced, but it's a really strong effect. And yeah, it is a must-kill target with 7 health for 4 mana. I'll be giving this card 3 stars. Yeah, the effect is really scary, but yeah, it does take some mana to really set up. Then let's go to another buff for Paladin, the Thresh Rider's Blessing, a 5 mana holy spell. Give your friendly minion +4/+4 and Death Rattle. Summon a random 4-cost minion. So for 5 mana, you get a +4/+4 buff. And yeah, that seems a little bit expensive, honestly, right? Like a Blessing of Kings, you wouldn't play that for 4 mana nowadays. But yeah, you do get that random 4-cost minion. So it's a little bit similar like the mounts we've had, right? Where yeah, you get 4/4 and then a 4-cost minion. It's a little bit similar to that, I'd say. But yeah, a bit worse, and then yeah, the more expensive cards get, right, the worse these kind of buffs get. And those mounts also had a bonus effect on top of it, and yeah, this doesn't have a bonus effect, just a plain buff and then a random 4-cost minion, which yeah, can be pretty disappointing sometimes. Although yeah, if you're lucky, you get that previous legendary. I just don't see why you want to be playing this card. It feels too expensive for the buff that you're getting, with yeah, not too much upside, and I don't think there's a lot of synergy you get with this card, so I'll be giving it 1 star. Then let's move to the last card for Paladin, which is the Creature of the Sacred Cave, a 4 mana 2/5 beast. At the end of your turn, recast a random holy spell you cast this turn. Targets this if possible. So you have to be casting a holy spell that turn for this to work. Of course, you can play this on 4 and then it lives, and then yeah, you can cast the previous holy spell, and then you basically cast it twice on this. But yeah, it only has 5 health for a 4-drop, and it requires you to play another holy spell that turn. And of course, yeah, if you have only 5 mana or 6, you can maybe play 1 or 2-cost spell to double up on it, but that doesn't really seem amazing, right? So I don't think this card will be played in a lot of decks. However, the one deck I can see this being played in maybe is a Libram Paladin, because of course they have a bunch of very cheap holy spells, or even 0 often, and then yeah, getting possibly, right, more Librams in your hand with +3/+3 buff, or another 0 mana 9/9 Divine Shield on the board. But it is kind of limited with those holy spells and 4 mana cost, so we're giving this 2 stars. And these are all the Paladin cards. So let me know in the comments what you think of them. Do you think the quest is gonna work? Is the Murloc Paladin coming back like it was in old Ungora, where it was really one of the top meta contenders? Well, just let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time.